Well, girl, we did it. I didn't know if I could make it through one entire season of a TV show without abandoning ship, because this shit is a lot of work. This shit is hard. But workout has me so deeply in its grasp, I can't move on until I finish the entire series. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, I see Jackie. I feel her. I feel Sky Sport and Spa surrounding me, leading my every step. I had intercourse last night and I wasn't able to achieve climax because I was wondering if Jackie's hair would change for the next season. So because of the intensity of my obsession, I'm jumping right into season 2 with no break. I feel like Jackie would be proud, because I've got what it takes. This season opens on text that says dedicated to the memory of Doug, which gives such a foreboding weight to the whole world of workout. The show looks better and bigger and brighter. They got some new cameras, they got new lights. It doesn't look like they filmed the entire thing through a burlap sack like last season. Jackie has ramped up her personality, leaning into the drill sergeant role, and in a departure from last season, attempts a kind of loving, fat-shaming personality, which I assume is a reaction to her perception that that's an endearing role for her. It's not, and I hope it doesn't last. I like Jackie when she's a hard ass, but deep down, everybody's biggest cheerleader. Jesse and Doug are in a fight because of a misinterpretation of something Doug said in an interview. Jesse takes it personally and makes it about a supposed hierarchy in the gay community with femme gays at the bottom and butch jock gays at the top. He calls himself gay fat when he's afraid to take his shirt off at the beach. Jesse's really going through it, but Doug really tries to step in and sweetly let him see that what he meant was a compliment. And it really makes me miss Doug. Rest in peace, sweet angel. And just a personal note for the people following along, last week you'll remember that Jackie got COVID and had to cancel our big scheduled interview. Well, now it's rescheduled for tomorrow, and at the time of me recording this, tomorrow is Memorial Day, so let's hope she shows up. I wonder what she'll say. I can't help but wonder, am I prepared to meet Jackie Warner? Only God can say. To help me dive into season 2 is Sarah Galli, the host of Andy's Girls, a Bravo podcast she's done for a decade with hundreds of hours of Bravo dissection. She's a true expert, and I'm going to interview her in her closet. So wish me luck.
See, I don't know any of this. Am I supposed to? Do I hold it?
Hold it. You could clip it if you want, but I like to hold it.
Do you hold it? Okay, great.
Welcome to Show Pony, Sarah Galli.
Oh my God, are we recording?
Yeah, we are. Everyone says that. I should maybe do. I should do a better job of saying.
She buttons her garden and looks at her tits.
We're in the Cloffice.
Yes.
Sarah Galli from Andy's Girls. Let's show everyone the mic cube.
Love that.
God, I wish it would fit on that little furry mic, but it won't.
Oh, would love.
We just did your podcast.
We did.
Which I love doing.
Thank you.
You're a Bravo expert.
I talk.
How long have you been doing Andy's Girls?
9 years.
Holy
Which
shit.
I didn't know until I had a conversation with a friend of mine and said, you know what? I think it's actually been a decade, which is very, very consistent for me to not even think about it and then think, you know what? I think I actually skipped that thing that most people would like take a moment to focus on. So yeah, I found out 9 years. So 10 years in March or April.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you so much for coming on. And I just said thank you so much for coming on because I think I'm still recording Andy's Girls. Thank you so much for...
Well, I did just do your podcast.
That's right. For having me. And I also have to say for the viewer, do they have a name? Pony people?
I was thinking
Pink Pony Club?
Little Johnsters.
For the... That has to be it.
Right?
For the Little Johnsters, I saw you in a production... How many years ago with Ben Rimmelauer at the Duplex, and I fell madly in love with you.
Good.
You were so funny. It was
it two-hand job or two-man job or Octobottom?
It was the one about Hairspray and which one was that one? Where you were like writing a book. There was a different name.
He named it. They were that. I was basically like reading an audiobook that didn't exist.
Well, it was really great. So I've been a fan of yours for a while. So it's such an honor to be on the show.
I love that you saw that show. I was in a blackout. I don't remember those shows. I remember
really?
that I was there, but I don't really remember what was.
Really?
It's before I was sober.
Oh my God.
But sometimes I think those were the most entertaining shows.
Well,
I performed at Andy's 50th in like an OxyContin blackout. And in that blackout, I convinced myself that I was an insult comic. And I sang a song.
No.
I roasted him. And then I took the roast into the audience and I roasted everyone there. Now, imagine the people who were at Andy's 50th. Valentino, DVF.
Tough.
I roasted them to their faces. Allison Williams. I fucking went for it. Anyway, did you watch Workout when it came on?
I did. Can we just circle back to that one more time? How did they respond to the comedic strategy?
In the moment, I was like, I have killed. And then for years, I was like so mortified. I'm so embarrassed. And then like a year ago, Andy was like, oh no, that was the funniest thing ever. So it was okay.
Yeah. We don't want to encourage it, but
it wasn't good. But
okay.
it like in terms of what I can do as a performer, it was entertaining and funny and crazy.
Yeah.
But like I don't need to do that again.
When are you writing a book? When is that happening?
I wrote
so good.
I wrote a book proposal and I need to kind of do some work on it.
Okay.
People were interested. We have so much to talk about. Also, there was something on your podcast that I wanted to mention that I couldn't on the show. What was it?
Was it like, can we swear?
Yeah.
Can you swear on YouTube? Not really. I'm going to try not to.
You can.
Okay.
I think there's something algorithmic where like if you swear in the first like 1 minute, it won't push it to people.
Okay.
Because this is a cussing video, but it's buried in the 40
I'm going to
minutes.
do it I'm going to train myself to not.
Just do it later.
Love.
And don't describe graphic things.
Would have to experience them to know how to describe them. So we're good. We're okay.
Anyway.
Interesting.
You did, Sarah Galli, we're in your office, which is, I'm telling you could be a TikTok superstar. If you just went through all this stuff and just talked about one thing a day, you could be rich.
I'll have you help me with that. You'll be my spiritual advisor.
You've talked about Bravo for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Workout?
Absolutely did.
In real time?
100%.
I never watched it.
I remember the Bravo of yesteryear and like the it factor. Like
that was my first.
I've been a Bravo.
I did watch that.
It was so good. And every time I see Jeremy Renner,
Daisy Egan.
Oh, Daisy Egan. I think of people don't even know. People don't even know what we know about Jeremy Renner from then.
That was a great show.
It was so good.
It was very real, very vulnerable, and it was true. I was an out of work actor at the time when it was on, or maybe I was in Hairspray, but I was an actor pounding the pavement and auditioning, and I was like, "This is getting it right." I loved it. And it was a different form of reality TV than sometimes like what we see on Bravo. Yeah.
And I think the idea of Bravo is so much connected for good reason with like the here and now, the Housewives franchise, all of that. But the show, Inside the Actors Studio.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So were you in high school during this time? You don't have to age yourself, but where were you in 2006?
Oh, in elementary.
Oh my God, you're so young.
I'm really fucking with you. We have a phrase on Andy's Girls that I love, spiritual mid-20s plus.
Great.
But 2006.
College-ish?
Yeah. College.
Okay.
College.
Darren Karp was also, I think, she was a freshman in college or senior in college or something.
Love. I've had Darren on the pod. I love Darren.
She's so good. And she's a lesbian.
We love.
So Jackie's a big lesbian. So basically, I didn't know. I started doing this podcast just to kind of like jump in the waters. And I just finished season 1 finale. I just finished it. And I was like on a schedule. So I didn't know if I was even going to do season 2, but here we are. I decided to just keep going.
And there are 3 seasons, which I didn't know until I was on Amazon.
And Doug's dead.
And Doug dies. When does Doug die? Spoiler alert.
I've known that he is going to pass. I don't know when he passes. I just know that it's in this season at some point, and the first thing we see when you watch season 2, episode 1 is in memory of Doug, and Doug's my favorite. He's so handsome.
And I remember when that happened.
Like you do.
I think I do.
Because you watched the show.
Because I remembered before, starting season 2, episode 1, I was like, somebody dies. And I couldn't. So when they did I was like, right. He was the one that everyone, except I guess Jesse, like really loved and had affection for. He had a soulfulness and a kindness that maybe wasn't terribly well represented on the show.
Andy says that he did a reunion and he cried in it because he was so touched by Doug.
I don't remember the reunion.
I don't either. And you can't find it. So I've told Andy to go dig it up. So they're going to dig it up for me.
I mean, I remember his reunion for Flipping Out when it was Jeff and Ryan like breaking up on camera again. That was very intense. I feel like that was on a couch. Like he did a reunion on a couch.
Right.
But I don't remember the word. Oh, that would be incredible to watch.
Yeah. So I've tasked him with digging it up out of the vault.
He would be the one to,
because you can't
DM archives.
I looked it up. You can't find it on Amazon. By the way,
is that?
If you want to watch Workout along with me, it is $9.99 for the whole season, which I'm paying my own money.
Yes, and I did not make that commitment.
You just bought the one.
$199. But priceless. A priceless experience. And I am now considering making that financial investment to watch what happens.
The popularity of this podcast will make it available on Peacock.
Why isn't it available? How do they make those decisions?
I thought it was. So when I signed on, it's not there. Neither is Tabitha, I don't think. I thought she was.
That?
Or maybe Tabitha is. I know, because remember last year, Bravo did a big push. They were like, vintage Bravos on Peacock. And I think D-List is there for sure. Maybe old Flipping Out, but not all of it. This is not on there.
I think Zoe's on there.
Oh, I bet.
Because I've caught up on Zoe, and that was wild.
I did one day of work as a producer on Zoe. It was great. My friend was the showrunner, and she was like, are you working? I need someone to come in. And I just was a field producer for the day. We just sat around the studio, and I shot them going about their business. I just did one day.
When she quasi-recently announced that Rachel Zoe and Roger were splitting up, I thought to myself, I didn't even know that was possible.
I know.
And they've been together for 100 years.
Why
at
break
that
up
point.
now?
Literally, but we'll never know because she's not as much the topic of conversation as she once was. But I was shocked by it.
Well, we were saying on your show, I would like to do a Vintage Bravo panel at BravoCon. So we're going to manifest that.
I would love it. Yeah. I honestly think that also is such a specific concept that I think attendees would lose their fucking minds because it's lose their minds.
You can say fucking now, I think.
Okay, phenomenal. Fucking. I think that they would lose their minds because so many of us, I mean, it used to be the conversation of who's your favorite housewife? I've adjusted that a little. On Andy's Girls, I always say, who's your spiritual housewife? Who do you connect with or disconnect with? Who's someone that you love or want to not behave
who's yours, Dolores?
It's been Shannon historically.
Wow.
And I wrote a piece about sort of trying to evolve out of that.
Yes, I want you to evolve out of that.
I do. She also happens to be in my top 5 and I love her, but identifying with her is, I think, extremely revealing.
Good for you for being honest about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who mine would.
I should have asked you.
Well,
we're answering. Now we're talking about it.
For a long time, it was Sonia.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
I'm hoping for the best for Sonia Rita. She's I think dealing with some stuff right now, and I'm hoping for the best for her.
Getting
and
kicked out of restaurants,
dinner reservations, and ambulance rides.
I hope she gets comped. Anyway, back to workout.
Anyway,
so I was doing this while I was doing other things. So 2007. Now we're in that. I dug deep. I was like, where was I in 2007? And I had to go into my old AOL email address because I was like, who was I and who was I talking to in 2007? I have a general recollection, but I wanted to see. It took me a minute to dig up 2007 emails, but I did.
Oh my God.
I spiraled.
Did you?
Yes. I wrote I was having breakdowns because I was producing the first show that I had sold. I was also field producing it.
Oh my God.
And I really struggled. I just really struggled during that show. And I was emailing friends I was a crisis. I was a chaotic crisis issue in 2007. I was emailing my dad back and forth I'm depressed. I just was depressed and anxious. And it was crazy to look back at that wow, my life was actually, I made it so much harder on myself. and I didn't have a lot of positivity. Anyway, that was happening for me in 2007. They have better lighting, In Memory of Doug, better interview setups. They have like a workout piece of machinery. They try taglines, which I noticed.
I did. Not great, because it didn't go anywhere. It was
If
more
you
of a
don't like me,
statement
you
of
can
fact.
go to hell.
Right.
That was Brian's. I walk the walk, I talk the talk.
Tough.
That was Erica's. Jackie announces she's going to start Sky Lab, which is going to be if people want to come for like a 2-week intensive. Don't really get it, whatever. The main thing is that at the end of the last season, she and Mimi broke up, which was the big, Mimi threw a drink, she slapped her face. It was very messy. So that's kind of what this episode, we're kind of like getting the fallout of that. And she's like, I've moved on. But then by the end of the episode, they're in couples counseling.
And the therapist is like, why are you doing this to yourself?
I will say, I don't like confrontation. I don't like arguing. I don't like seeing people fight. But when I was watching them in couples counseling, I was like, this is amazing. Like, not amazing, enjoyable, but like it's not fake. They are actually having couples counseling, and they are really like, they're having an amazing session.
They both know they shouldn't be together.
I know. And
it's strange.
Mimi was 27, 26. Jackie
Was
was
she?
37, 38. There's a 10-year difference. And they say when they sit down, we have great sex, and that's why we're still together. But in the last season, I was like, they hate each other.
Right.
They cannot stand each other.
Right.
And I remember, I don't think I ever was the kind of person who liked to spend time with someone, sex or no sex, with someone I can't stand. I would rather not have sex than be with someone I hate.
Yeah, they were leaning into the toxicity in a way that was
good for TV.
confounding. I don't know how good for TV it was, though, because she's like, there's like an element of not necessarily darkness, but
it's very
sadness.
dark. Yes.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have had that. She could have had a different kind of, it still could have been great TV, just with her making ever so slightly better choices for herself.
Well, I mean, I think goes for a lot of reality TV people, probably.
100%.
She takes them all to the beach. Jesse takes his top off, and this is when we do begin a body shaming. It wasn't as bad in season 1. She didn't call anybody fat. I think maybe the fame of success of season 1, maybe she was hearing from people like, oh, we love watching you like take people to task or something, because this is a different side of Jackie. I saw her building people up. She didn't call anybody fat or anything like that.
I see. This is the thing of me watching the episode that we're talking, but not rewatching one. I sort of only remember her from this stage.
She was very like. Just like a cheerleader for people. She wasn't, I don't know. I think that maybe she thought my bread and butter is going to be being a hard ass or something like that, because I felt bad for Jesse, and he's like, I'm not fat, I'm gay fat. He said that. And also the word fat, like the way it's just like archaic.
Yeah. And that it's being framed in a way that he's unsuccessful, or that he would be unsuccessful as a trainer to not look a very specific way. And what you just said is interesting, because I wonder for Jackie, so much of the episode, the sort of reintroduction to her is, I'm very busy, I'm very successful, and I'm looking to grow. Right. And obviously she seemed to make the decision that growth for her in the world of personal training is directly correlated to weight loss.
Right.
So that, I think, is tough.
This is during the era of Biggest Loser. This is, I was saying,
point.
And I think episode 3 with Jess, Americans at this time wanted to see fat people dropping pounds fast. Like, that was the entertainment. People were getting on their couches to be like, who was on Biggest Loser? I didn't watch those shows, but I did produce Dance Your Ass Off, which was about people losing weight.
What?
By dancing. Lisa Ann Walter was the creator and head judge.
Elementary?
Yep.
Whoa.
Marissa Jarrett Winokur was the original host, and Mel B was the season I produced.
What?
It was actually a really fun
Was it good?
show. Well, but the thing is, like, a lot of them did slim down, but you're not losing 100 pounds by doing the cha-cha.
Right. No, true.
I don't know how they were doing on Biggest Loser, but I think that was like months and months and months. This was a few months, but they were losing. The network would always say, I do remember this, it was on Oxygen, and the network would always say, 5 pounds isn't a lot. They need to lose like 50 pounds. And we were like, they're doing the waltz.
Oh my God.
They're doing the foxtrot. Like, they're not losing 75 pounds. They're going to lose 15 in 2 months.
Phenomenal.
And that's also, I did like, Lisa Ann Walter was great. She was like, this is a healthier alternative to Biggest Loser. They're enjoying, they're doing something fun. We love dancing. They're going to get a little bit more in shape. Great. They didn't do humiliating things, and they didn't like, it was a okay show, but that's where we were at the time.
Wow. Where was Richard Simmons during the time of workout?
I was taking his aerobic class
Shut up.
at Slimmons from him.
Shut up.
Yes.
See, that's a bucket list. That's a bucket list moment.
Ricky Lake took me to Slimmons. She was friends with him, and she was like, "Do you want to go to Richard Simmons?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get my leg warmers and we'll dress up." She's like, "No, it's not like that. It's real." And she was right, and I went religiously.
I would have died
twice a week.
I would have loved.
It was the most touching.
Yeah.
He truly wanted people to get healthy.
100%.
Do you know this? Women who were like 300, 400 pounds would sit in the back, and he would say, don't be embarrassed to come to class. Even if you can't walk, come to class and just hang out with us and envision yourself doing what we're doing, and you'll eventually be able to. And it was true. They'd be like, Rose did her first sit up today, and it was like, it was really touching.
Oh my God, I would have loved that.
They would sit in the back, and they would sit on chairs in their workout gear, and they would kind of like rock during the sit-ups, and they would kind of like do arms when they could. And he's like, just keep doing that, and eventually you'll get to the point to stand up.
There is I don't know how culture looks at Richard Simmons now. I do with a lot of just like love.
Yeah.
He's just seemed like a genuine, lovely person. And that's an example of someone talking about health, and maybe health with weight loss at the forefront, but practice through joy, where it wasn't about shaming people, where it was genuinely about experiencing something, and the experience not necessarily being like weight loss at the forefront.
Right. Well, he was just the greatest. Anyway, that's what he was doing. Let's just go through the big ones. There's a new African-American trainer named Greg who's dating Zen. Ellen Kay is on this show. Do you know who Ellen Kay is?
I don't think
She's on this episode. She's the blonde who is working out.
From Ryan Seacrest?
Yes.
Is she still a part of his show?
No, she hosts her own show, The Ellen Kay Show, and I know her, and I love Ellen Kay.
Her face it looked so familiar.
Okay, I produced a show called
Oh my God.
The Proposal, which was Mike, what's the guy's name? Mike Fleiss, the guy who created The Bachelor?
Oh, Heidi's brother, yeah.
Mike Fleiss did a show. It was one season, hosted by Jesse Palmer.
Okay.
From Bachelor. Do you watch Bachelor?
No.
Okay. He was a Bachelor. He's now like on Today Show or something.
Okay.
He was the host. It was...
Oh my God.
A woman in a shielded cage, right? In a shielded pod, they called it. A bachelorette, right?
Okay.
In a pod.
Love is Blind.
Uh-huh. It is Love is Blind, but it's Marriage is Blind. So these guys would...
Married at First Sight.
It's that. It was literally that. These guys would come down, and they'd say, hey, I'm so-and-so from Santa Monica. I love football. And they walk off, and she'd be like, okay, I want to see these. They can't see her.
But she can see them.
She can see them, and she's whittling them down.
Oh, no.
And then by the end, one of them has to propose marriage.
End of the episode or end of the season?
End of the episode.
No.
Every episode was a different bachelorette.
No. Did they get married on camera? Was it like Marriage is in 45?
No, that's why the show only went one season. It was like, flawed.
It doesn't mean anything because we could end this proposal immediately after taping.
And how are you proposing to someone like...
You haven't seen.
It was crazy. Look it up. And Ellen Kay and I worked together because I wrote the copy, this like comedic kind of...
Oh my God.
There's a super cut of it that's really funny that they did on some late night shows. And Ellen Kay read the copy in a very like presenter voice, like it was a pageant. Anyways, nice to see her. The saddest part was when Doug's ex comes in. Cheo, his kidney failure. And then you know that Doug's also going to pass. And like, I have so many questions. By the way, side note, do you know that another trainer from... Yes, so there's two. I don't know who the other one is. No, like, I don't know. Someone
Choose your own adventure.
They were like two. I was like, Doug,
can we not Google that?
I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to react in real time.
Love.
Yeah.
Dies on the show?
Well, I don't think on the show, but like somebody maybe besides Doug doesn't.
I don't remember a
survive.
second death, but this was 1,000 shows ago,
Yes.
700 years ago.
700
when I was
episodes
4.
ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's really sad. It was really sweet. He's trying to help him get healthy so that he can get a kidney transplant.
And they were together for 14 years.
And they had so much drama, and they used to fight. It made me really like love them.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I hope he's doing okay. I hope he's still with us. Cheo?
I hope so too.
don't
I
know.
mean,
Just
we're only on episode 1, so maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe the kidney solved it all.
Totally.
I thought Doug was going to say he has kidney failure, so I'm going to give him a kidney.
That was not what we were
He
watching.
was just going to make him do some weights.
Yeah.
And that'll
but
help.
he might not have matched.
Exactly. Would you give a kidney to someone?
No. But I have kidney
Bad kidney.
stuff. I have a nervous system disorder that almost killed me.
We don't want your kidneys.
I refuse
Okay.
to give them, or honestly anything that you can see here, including various parts of my body. But I love other people who do that. And the nice thing about a kidney donor is like living kidney donor. You got a couple.
Right.
BOGO.
Don't get any ideas. I'm not giving any of mine. I'm not giving nothing.
Well, I just think, and again, I
I want
fully
both of
support it.
mine.
Well, that's the thing is like, you never know. You never know.
I also think I've heard it really hurts to donate.
It's worse
It's
for the
worse for the
donor.
donor.
Right. But again, I fully
not
support it.
giving
And I think
it.
everyone should give a kidney, just not, maybe one day to me, honestly, but like just not specifically
I
mine.
want your kidney, but I don't want to give you mine.
I will visit you in the hospital or send you a really beautiful text.
Totally. Or if you're Selena Gomez, unfollow you on Twitter. Or
Oh my
unfollow
God.
you on Instagram. She unfollowed her kidney donor.
Francesca, I think. This is so terrible because I like don't understand really the basics of the sort of headlines of their celebrity, but I do know that she did, according to people, she did actually just unfollow her best friend, whose name I forget. Her best friend went to dinner with Benny Blanco, and then Selena unfollowed her.
Okay, we'll blaze through these and I'll play this like tiny little game and then we have to go. Because I'm
Okay.
going to look at apartments in New York.
That's happening today.
Yeah, I'm just going to go run
God.
past one.
Love.
Jackie goes to the salon with there's this whole like B story about Doug and Jesse being in a fight because of interviews they both did post season 1 and like success of the show. Doug says in a complimentary way,
Right.
Jesse reminds me of Jack from Will and Grace, which he meant as a compliment. Jesse took it to mean there's a hierarchy and like butch gay guys are better than flaming. Or he took it to mean he was flaming because he goes, I like to be a positive gay role model. It wasn't about Jesse. I am on team Doug, but they take it really, and Jackie doesn't help. Like they take it all the way to this event for gay. What is the event for? Lesbian and gays
I just remember they were donating their,
workout sessions.
yeah.
Great.
And showed a clip of the show.
So that is the thing.
Tough.
I have been saying with her mom, when her mom on the show, that conversation, say what you will about Jackie and the whole thing, but the fact that they were having that conversation on mainstream TV at that time is major.
Yeah, but I yes, absolutely, totally agree. And also being at that kind of event, and if she didn't know that clip was being used,
Right.
it's like you're clinking glasses, eating, someone always references it as a rubber chicken dinner, but like you're eating like fancy food. Maybe it's a little bit of a celebratory vibe, maybe not. And that is the clip that's shown. But that's what you do when you sign up for reality TV.
Yeah.
But I do also think like, and maybe that's the reason she's there because of how it connected with so many people, but
think
also
so.
that's tough to be in a room of folks and like this is the innermost vulnerable part of your experience on the show, and that's what I get it, but I also think I empathize with her.
I have to imagine that they said she may not have known they were going to show that, which would have been
True.
so embarrassing, but also it did air, and I think they probably said like, your show is doing so much for the community, we're going to honor you in some way. And then she did even say, she's like, it was uncomfortable.
And also probably helpful for her that the overwhelming response, as she said, and as I think I remember from the audience, was like, we are here for you.
Totally.
So she had a different kind of family with the audience.
Totally.
Not same thing.
Yeah. Chosen family.
Yeah. Friendly.
She rents a room so they can kind of hang out and drink during and before, middle, and after the party. The fight between Doug and Jesse kind of pops off. Then they go to couples therapy. We can wrap up the episode. They go to couples therapy, her and Mimi, and have this huge explosion. And I wasn't entertained in a joyful way, but I was riveted by watching them hash their shit out.
Yeah.
Sometimes on Delta, I'll watch the show Couples Therapy. I think it's fascinating.
I am so behind on Couples Therapy, but I think it's like literally probably the number one best show on TV.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little quiz about 2007, just
Please.
to see.
So young, barely remember.
What reality composition show debuted in 2007 where contestants lived in a kid-run Old West-style town with no adults present?
What?
Kid Nation.
Okay.
Who?
How did that go for everyone? Okay.
I think it was largely panned. Who was the surprise winner of Big Brother 8 in 2007, beating out fan favorite Danielle Donato?
I'm not a Big Brother person.
Evil Dick. Which...
Was that their name?
Evil Dick.
Love.
Which iconic Bravo show ended in 2007 after its 4th season and featured party planner Preston Bailey and celebrity weddings?
Oh.
I'd never heard of the show.
I know.
Whose wedding is it anyway?
I don't think I watched a single
Me
episode.
either.
Okay, great.
Who was named People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive in 2007?
Can I have a hint?
He has a Catholic prayer app now.
Mark Wahlberg. Wow.
No, I got it wrong. It's Matt Damon.
Oh my God.
I get
How
them confused.
dare
I get them
you.
confused. I'm sorry. Matt Damon is a hero. He was on
How do
Project,
you? Oh my God! Shout out to Boston. Shout out to New England.
Project
Red Sox.
Greenlight.
That was a tough. You should. Oh my God! If I could make a special request.
Fine.
Project Greenlight and the Effie of it all, and thinking about Effie of it all now versus then,
I know.
when it was cringe then.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
Okay, so-
such an incredible show.
Side note, this is what I've been talking about doing.
Please.
After workout,
Okay.
instead of going straight to Tabitha, I think I'm going to do Anna Nicole.
Okay.
I know. Just because I really want to. And there's not a, like, I would have to kind of force myself to do other shows, even though I would like them. But I love Anna Nicole, and I loved that show.
I honestly also love the idea of the first 2 shows not being
Bravo.
Not right. I
Yeah.
think take a little.
And it's Bravo with Jason. I'm
Right.
trying to build a brand.
Right.
What MTV show in 2007 had contestants pick a date based solely on viewing their bedrooms and dirty laundry?
I don't remember any of this.
Room Raiders.
Okay.
Which reality-adjacent star and tabloid figure died of an overdose at the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel in February 2007? I just said her name.
Oh, was it Anna Nicole? She died where?
At the Hard Rock Hotel.
And it was right after her son. Wasn't it like the week her son died? I might be making that up. It was like shortly after her son passed away, Daniel.
And I think I went to that Hard Rock like a month later for some reason.
Pay respect? Leave some
No, I
flowers
was like stuck
at a
there for
door?
some reason.
Oh, okay.
Which,
Bad place to get stuck.
no, it was it was actually a
Nightmare.
nightmare.
Yeah,
it's a
literal
whole
nightmare.
other story. I
Okay.
think I might have.
For the book.
Me and Ben almost did that in that show that you saw at the Duplex. I had a whole story about it.
About Anna Nicole. Oh, about the hotel.
About being stuck in Florida. I was hired to be an in-flight magazine travel writer for an airplane. They flew me to the Dominican Republic to do a
love all of
story,
this.
and then the airline went out of business while I was in the Dominican Republic, and I had to
Walk
get
home?
myself back to America, and I could only get as far as Florida for some reason. And then got to New York. I don't remember how. I do remember how. Mark Shaman's father had passed, and he was driving through and said, "I'll pick you up." And I went to his dad's Shiva and then then the funeral, and then he flew me home to New York. And then I flew his cat to LA as
Mark
like a
Shaman's?
thank you, and I gave the cat a human Ambien in the plane because she was making such a fucking racket. She was making people were so mad at me, and so I was like, "God damn
the
it!"
cat still with us?
I shoved the human Ambien down her mouth,
What a great idea.
and I was like, I don't care if she dies. I want her to shut up. And she slept the entire time, and she lived for like 4 more years, maybe 2 more years, 3 more years.
Did you tell Mark Shaman?
Just now I did.
Tony winning head of everything?
I'm sure he would be thrilled that she had an Ambien.
Can I just say,
Jackie got her DUI because she was on Ambien. Keep going.
so we want to stay away from Ambien.
I used to take Ambien to go dance. I used to crush it up and snort it and go to Splash.
But doesn't it take you out?
Yeah, but that's the fun.
Wait, what were you taking with the Ambien?
Alcohol and other pills, whatever I could find.
So what was it was just to elicit a dramatic response.
It makes you fucked up. That's why people get in trouble on it all the time.
So
It's not great to take.
I've never
Don't,
taken it.
don't.
And I'm about to go on a flight, and when I was thinking it was going to be an overnight, I was like, I really should take something, but I've only taken melatonin.
Xanax maybe, or just.
I've never taken Xanax, I
You
don't think.
shouldn't ever
Okay.
take Xanax. That was worse than fentanyl for me.
which I've also, not to my knowledge, taken. But my concern was if I took one of them, I really feel in my core being, having never taken any of it, that I would try to open a door. And I just don't want to go viral in that way. There's just something in me. I know I'm going to try, which I would never do. But I think I just have this paranoia that I might try to open a door.
That's how I feel about hallucinogens, which I never did. I think
never done that?
if I did LSD or acid or something, I'd be like, oh no, I can fly. Let me jump off this building.
Also, has anyone ever had like an allergy to the mushrooms when they're taking shrooms? Because I think that would be my story.
Probably. You don't need to do any of it. I'm telling you.
Okay, stay away from drugs.
Who won American Idol in 2007, season 6? Jordan Sparks.
Okay.
Which celebrity was released from jail in 2007 after serving time for violating probation?
O.J. Simpson?
Paris Hilton.
Okay.
Close.
Very close.
Which Disney Channel movie, the second in its franchise, broke cable TV viewership records when it premiered in August 2007?
Clue? Can I have a clue?
High School Musical 2. I thought you meant Clue the movie. I'm like, that's not it.
I saw High School Musical on ice in
I
Buenos
did
Aires.
too!
I saw it in Argentina.
I saw it in LA, but I loved it.
I enjoyed it. A friend of mine was stooping one of the dancers.
Hot.
Or ice skater ensemble members.
Remember when the Richard sisters were on Celebrities Skating? Or they were divers.
Which
Bethany Frankel was a skater.
She was. And her spinoff was, I think, right? Didn't it involve a lot of her stress with the skating?
That's so stupid.
I can't believe there was celebrity diving.
What song was the top Billboard Hot 100 single of 2007?
Can I have a clue?
She's currently on tour at MetLife.
Beyonce?
Correct.
What was the song?
It's one word. Irreplaceable.
Oh,
Sarah
what a bad
Galli,
one not to remember.
We do acknowledge the people here. Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram at Dame Galli. Listen to my podcast and maybe one day watch it, which is all about the psychology behind Bravo and other forms of TV, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Did I say Dame Galli on Instagram?
Yeah, we're gonna get you on. We're gonna get you on video.
I'm gonna do video.
It's what you need to do at your decade mark. Be like, y'all, we're launching.
Honestly, for a show that's all about weight loss, the body dysmorphia of it all in filming video is not ideal for me. But I think it'd be helpful. I think, but it's like radical, whatever the fuck, exposure therapy.
Yes.
I don't want that.
But like, start small. I think you should do your show on YouTube.
Okay.
And the thing is, the great thing, you control
what goes out.
And if you don't like the way it looks, you don't upload it.
That's a good point.
And I'm telling you, I will tell you what to do in this room so that you feel like you look adorable.
Well, that's the other thing is I don't know how to use
This is an amazing background.
I know, and I don't know how to use this space, and I don't know if viewers can see this wall, but I have a wall of like Bravo stuff and other stuff that was, I think, envisioned to be the wall if I did video, but then I just personally, when I'm on a Zoom, like seeing my dresses and shoes in the background.
They're very colorful.
That's my thing. So and also that doesn't have a single thing that says Andy Scrolls, but if people can see it, which I don't think that they can, there are tropical jelly beans that Kelly Clore and Ben Simone signed at a live show she did for Andy Scrolls, and those stay with me. And also a Memories of My Dad box filled with memories, and I have put literally nothing inside of it. Someone sent it to me, and I don't know what to do with it. So it's an empty box of memories.
Seem like if I'm experimenting. I'm experimenting now with like if I were shooting your show.
Please.
This is the framing I would use.
Okay, great.
And like,
you'll show that to me.
It's like,
oh, we're going low.
No, I'm just like, I think it's such a great look.
Okay. I think I've been hunched over the entire time.
I would put something like a plant behind you there.
Okay.
You can't see the books.
I have a dead plant we can put there.
Or some sort of, just a colorful vase. Something there. Great. Just a tall thing to fill that space.
Okay.
Maybe even like one of those lights that you don't plug in, but it like sucks to the top and you just touch it and it kind of glows.
You're going to tell me this when I remember
I'm telling you,
okay.
I can dress this set.
Would love it.
You really should. Okay. And you can film it one shot like this. You don't need 2 cams. Just do one.
Really?
And then I can help you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm inspired.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us for Show Pony Episode 7 covering Workout Season 2. Don't forget to share this episode with your friends, and if you're listening on an audio platform, may I suggest you try watching the show as well on YouTube. Subscribe to the Show Pony channel, especially this episode, because I am naked in the shower in the introduction, in the opening, so I don't want to have done that for nothing. I'm very proud of my artistic endeavors with this show, and I truly feel like I've elevated the medium, and Show Pony will soon be winning Cannes, among other film festivals. Or just keep listening, who cares? What matters most is that you're still here, so thank you. Join the Patreon, support however you can, but mostly repost clips, tell your friends to follow, like, subscribe, and yes, I do sell feet pics, among other things. Just join the Patreon and ask. I'll pretty much do whatever you want. Love you. See you next week.